rock and roll. Where we at? Hey, you guys did that a lot better this time, man. They were highly trained technical staff here. And remember, this is the one show that invites you, the viewer, to come and be on. Who else? You know what I mean? Does Ed McMahon ever say, I know he promises you a lot of money, but does he ever say, hey, come on down here and be on the screen with me? No, but we do here. And where are we at? Yeah, we're at Poets Cafe, and you get a paper and a piece of pencil, and you can be on. And look, I still got my little MediaOne sticker here. And remember, you get a little pencil and a piece of paper when you send your money in for your bill, pay your bill on time. What you got to do is, like, ask them, and they'll send you one of these neat stickers, and I bet you can think of all kinds of stuff to do, and people think you're cool because you got a MediaOne sticker. You know what I mean? Hey, this is great. And one of the great things about being on TV and interviewing other artists and stuff is it doesn't make that any difference if you know somebody 100 years or you just absolutely just dead up and met them, because you know they're a fellow artist. And I'd like to introduce Ross. Hey, rock and roll. Yeah, right, and you're a fellow poet.
I'd like to think so, yeah.
Yeah, wow, far out. And how long you been writing?
I don't know. Since I was about 12, maybe.
I mean, why? You have to. You're for good answers out why. It's like school. It's all right. You know what I mean?
The first one probably came out when I was 12.
Yeah, wow.
About a sandcastle, I guess.
Oh, yeah. You ever had stuff published?
Came close once, thought it was a scam and backed out. So.
No, but I mean, like in school and stuff. I mean, you strike me as somebody that's, you know what I mean?
No, I never really got along with my teachers enough for them to really check it out.
And like, you know, like, where are you from originally?
From Lowell, Mass.
Whoa, wow, far out.
Pretty much from Billerica, though. From Burlington.
Yeah, far out. That's out there. And like, who's influenced you as a writer?
Stephen King, actually.
Stephen King. Well, he's a big-time poet, I noticed. You know what I mean? It's like my friend. Like, you know what I mean? John Updike, he's a poet. And people never really get into his poetry and stuff. But maybe John will come down here and read some stuff, because we're from Beverly. He's kind of used to be from Beverly.
Give it a shot.
Yeah, he's cool, man. You know what I mean? That'd be fun out. You know? Like, what kind of stuff do you write?
I don't know. It's slightly morose, some of it. A couple of them are, a couple of poems I've done were more or less tributes to friends I've lost. A lot of them came out through, you know, bad breakups or just rough times.
Yeah, like I always say, nothing like fresh blood, man, to give you good poetry. You know what I mean? Like, you know, car running fines, you never get good poetry about that, man. Car wreck, man, that's it. You know what I mean? You got to write poetry over car wrecks and, you know, broken marriages and such, yeah. Yeah, dogs dying, that's always another big one of mine, you know what I mean? Like, Fast Eddie always says peddler's dying dog poems, but, you know, I told him, Fast Eddie, that's better than dying Fast Eddie poems, but it's like, you know what I mean? Like, you write what you feel.
Yeah, painting's pretty good for the soul. It wakes you up.
It's the truest form of emotion, poetry. The truest form, man. You know what I mean? Like, do you ever go to the open mics and read, or have you tried that?
No, nothing.
Oh, yeah? You should get out there, man. You know what I mean? Like, because the trouble, that's why I have this show, because there's so many people out there that are writers that don't have the courage or never really get the connections. You know what I mean? They don't think it's important. And everybody's voice is important.
Not confident enough.
Enough,
maybe.
Confidence comes with practice.
Yeah.
That's why they make little kids play Little League. You know what I mean? And they make them play Big League or whatever comes next. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
but that's why, because it comes with confidence. You know what I mean? You know, like, you know, like, imagine, you know, a baseball comes at you 110 miles an hour, say, 120?
Something like that.
Yeah, I mean, really, you're a little kid. You know what I mean? Like, you know, like, and poetry's kind of like that, standing up in front of a stage, you know? The scariest place I ever read was Harper's Ferry in Alston. I thought if they had a rotisserie going in the back room, and they were scary anyways. They were all short hair and bald faces. And I thought if they didn't like, they had a rotisserie going in the back room, and I thought if they didn't like your work, they'd like cook you and eat you. I mean, I swear I'm not going to survive this. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, I'm a cook also, so, you know, if it gets too bad.
Yeah, right. But, you know, I survived it, and, you know, hopefully, and like... what else has, you know, influenced you as a writer?
I don't know. I've done a lot of research on Tolkien, and you know, I've read a lot of his work. He also was influenced me, I guess. Yeah, J.R. Tolkien, The Hobbit.
You know, like, it's funny how people come. How far did you, you know, like, don't cop a play, but how far did you go to school? Have you been to college? Or?
No, actually. To be honest, I really didn't even make it out of high school. Just
yeah, I love that, because there's so many dudes on the planet Earth that'll say, well, I'm not really educated, and so far we've talked about you studied under Stephen King, Tolkien, you know what I mean? Like, you know, I love it. Oh, I watch the poem in my spare time. You know what I mean? I love it because people don't understand who they really are. They don't understand, you know what I mean? Well, I don't have a PhD, therefore I'm really not educated, you know what I mean? And
well, it's never the case.
But you find out people really are when they're, you know. Any other, what music do you like?
A variety. I listen to just about everything.
Yeah,
from Led Zeppelin to Marilyn Manson even, you know.
Wow.
It doesn't get too much more in between there.
You know what I mean? God, it's like, I seen that guy, what's his name? I don't want to get into that. Never mind, no. Forget it. We'll talk about something else, you know what I mean? But that is so cool. I usually don't ask people to do this, but I think I'm going to do this tonight. Could you read, like, sitting there? Would you like to read sitting there or standing up? Which would be easier?
Do it right here?
Yeah, why don't you read here? And read several poems.
All right.
I'd love to hear.
The first one here that I have called Dazed. I'll understand why in a second. I stand here in a daze, with nothing but an empty haze that blocks out the day. My life seems to have slipped into a maze with empty spaces and worthless days. Some way, someday, I'll beat this maze. Until then, I'll endure the days. I'll become crazed.
Keep going, though.
This one here is a tribute to a friend of mine that I lost several years ago. The dark rider visited my friend last eve. Unwelcomed as he was, the rider bid his greeting and left us desolate in our grief. We paid a final goodbye to a friend yesterday, and all said farewell to faith and hope, as our lives moved on to days of gray, of many, until the blue can peer its head in again. Until then, we all say foul praise for the unwelcome visitor.
Far out. I mean, you know what I noticed about your work, brother? That you really have a nice rhythm. You know what I mean? There's really a nice cadence underneath there, you know what I mean? Where did you pick that up? That's
just the way it came out.
Yeah, that is nice. That is
to
really
be
nice.
Honest, I really don't even know the difference between a sonnet and a poem, or the difference between the poems and everything. Would you like another one? Or?
Yeah, please do.
Okay. All right. This one I wrote for a friend of mine, my best friend, Carry On. It's the thief. The thief struck lightning quick, without a sound or noticeable mark, yet the wound would never heal. The blade was poisoned. Slowly it poisoned thy mind and heart to the point of despair and sorrow. Yet like a fool I plunge headlong, begging for more.
You know, now, I believe in formal education, and I believe in writers' groups. I think they're important because they help put people together to, you know, and learn the nomenclature of the language. But I think we forget as poets that little kids singing don't have to know every note to know the word or to put it together. And sometimes in the poetry world, we try to make people be able to name every single nuance of the language. You know what I mean? And iambic, pentameter, and all that. You know what I mean? It's like, you know, you don't have to know which way the gears turn in the transmission to drive the car.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Just stare.
And I think, like, that, you know, like your work, man, it really shows a great natural stuff, and I wish you luck, man.
Thank you very much.
You know, hey, rock and roll, we're going to a break. We'll be right back after this. Rock and roll. Stick around. Rock and roll, we're back, and we got Richard Moore tonight, who is a great guy from the poetry community. It's always great to have you on, Richard. Rock and roll.
Great to be here. Okay, I'm going to read some of my poems and a few, and then I'm going to interview Allan Bowhill, and he's going to read some of his poems. And I'll start out with a poem which is a memory of the Korean War. It's about a marriage that was breaking up during the war, and it puts the war together. Jungle War. Weak sun rays out of winter cloud, the dusty window pane crossed once by a dark bird. In a far room the baby cries aloud, between us two no word. But heightened by the lonely cry, tropical silence in us sets its traps and hearkens. Old grudges deepen and intensify, and outside the sky darkens. Under the books, the knick-knack shelves, the shreds of cobweb that still hold our lives together, we penetrate the jungles of ourselves. Bombs burst, touched by a feather. Can no one stop this dull, mad war? Each still avoids the other's unimpassioned kiss. Oh, we no longer know what we longed for. Maybe it was this. That's a pretty horrible one. But we're going to do now two lighter ones. And, this is still a little bit heavy too. Suburb song. Come live with me. We'll spread the brie, guzzle the wine, smoke dope, and give up hope for modern man's estate that fetters, bans what's great from this his life of ease and fosters grubs and fleas. We'll cultivate curious herbs, and resting from our labors in posh suburbs, we'll contemplate our vile, upwardly mobile neighbors. Their life of ease suits them, those grubs and fleas. The one firm rule in suburbs posh is, when snow is falling, you'll pull on galoshes. And thus, all faring in rubber, like great whales bearing their blubber through seas of ease. Listen, you grubs and fleas, the heroic past has passed at last into a moral slum, and life's become a stuttery boast over buttery toast. A life of ease. Eat it, you grubs and fleas. Okay, now one more, the longest one. This may be the only poem in the English language which makes a poetic symbol out of a popcorn popper. Song of the Popper Pauper. Aid me, policeman! Help me, copper! Somebody stole my popcorn popper. Don't laugh. It's mine. I have clear title. Its presence in my life is vital. For there are people bent on stopping all popcorn in my house from popping. Yes, it's a plot. They think they're smart, those Philistines who hate great art. The human soul, when newly born, is pure potential, unpopped corn. Then, as in poems like Thanatopsis, warm nature touches us and pops us. For this, a proper popper's needed. That call from the soul's depths was heeded, and you responded to her sighs, magnificent free enterprise. An elegant device, contrived with wit and feeling, soon arrived, and I, joyful, was pleased to mount her, glittering on my kitchen counter. From that glad time, I never stopped. Each blessed moment, popcorn popped, heaps of it. Happiness now utter, I added salt, pepper, and butter. Fate drew me on, miserable leper, leper to be, to add that pepper. Witnesses came, harpies flocked. Pepper on popcorn? All cried, shocked. His style, declared some learned folk, clearly has entered its Baroque. Thus, the beginning of the end. And now, who comforts me? What friend? Who stole my popper? Will you tell? Or must I watch you cook in hell, where I will venture also, jeopardizing myself to add the pepper? Thank you. Now, we will hear from Allan Bowhill. Allan, great to see you again. I see you several times a week. I see you on Sunday at the meeting in Cambridge, and then you're usually there at Agape, and you tower above me on all these occasions.
Well, that's all right. Don't feel bad about it, Richard. You tower above me poetry-wise.
No. You're from England, and you've had a long career of being a physicist and being involved with the things that fly around in the night, the heavenly bodies, but now you've turned successfully and you're to poetry and having retired, and you're having a whole new life. And I think I really love your things. You're going to do different voices for us too, aren't you?
Yes, I am.
Okay, well here we go, and I think we should raise this a little bit for you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Good. First, a poem on the lighter side. Ceiling Zero describes an experience that many of us have had. Missed the turning 10 miles back, hurtling through the rainy light, nowhere to stop to read a map, lost on the freeway, lost in the night. Windshield misty, short on fuel, need a bathroom, out of luck, headache coming, tight and cruel, scared to stop and be hit by a truck. Howard Johnson's comes in view, neon shouting to the sky. An ice cream feast will make me new, but next time I will surely fly. A dialect poem, A Sailor's Yarn. Pass the bottle, eh? It's hard to handle death when you're close to death yourself. Like 30 years ago, I quit my boat in Hilo and took up with Morela. Pass the bottle, damn it. God, her skin was sweet, like the sunset as we were aground on that reef in the Coral Sea, close by Tokelau, the year I lost my leg. I was hot with fever, and she was plump and cool, like a summer monsoon rain. She held me through 10 nights of pillows, wet with spit, and mornings rank with sex. But she was dying, which I didn't know till her little brother, frantic, beat on the door to say she'd fainted cold on the way to get her paycheck. Pass the bottle, okay? My sickness weren't so bad, but I could make it there under that rusty roof to kneel beside her stretcher in that cold and smelly ward. She died at 9 o'clock, panting, eyes glazed over, from my fever, so they said. It took her just like that. I still have heat in me from that hand I held in the morgue. So don't you come to me with tales of half-baked love. You don't know what love is. By rights, I should have died before that golden pearl. And now I'm a haunted hulk. Pass that bottle. Now, quite a different voice. Scots lady of advanced years. It's called Do What Your Granny Says. It's a Halloween poem, a little late, I'm afraid. Aye, lass, here's the nicht when ghoulies from the brae snatch wee ones from their cradles and sweep them down the glen. And now's the time to see your future lover's face and gaze into his eyes if you've a mind to. When I was a lass like you, my granny made me stand at the open door and stare in the cold chimes of midnight. I threw the spool of thread into the reeking dark, then reeled it in, so slow, till it would come no more. Nothing I saw, but then a wee stirring in the mist, I pulled again, and there was a grand and kilted figure, dim but clear enow. But his face, oh lass, I cannot tell it plain, was eyeless, earless, lipless, and white. I was gay afeard, and ran back in the house swearing I'd never wed a man of rattling bones. So when your grandfather came, gallant with flesh and muscle, I glommed on him well and soon, despite the signs before. So take your wooden reel at this witching hour, and dare to try your chance at love, and may what you spy be bonny. And one final poem, perhaps? Again on a lighter note. Tyrannosaurus sex. What I know about dinosaurs could be written on one of their teeth, with plenty of space left over. But I can speculate on their means of reproduction, hoping you're as ignorant as me. Tentative tenderness flows in their tiny brains, fed by crawling lust. The female animal knows her power of procreation can overwhelm her mate, forcing him to dance with clumsy, humbling steps to whatever tune she calls. Not for now are his jaws, his ever-grinding teeth, his armor-suited chest. She leads, he follows, steaming with dim desire, trapped in a primal genetic joke.
Thank you, Allan. Thank you, Allan. That was absolutely perfect.
Rock and roll. Here we're back. Yeah, you know, I don't need that. I got this. See, I don't need that. Hey, we'll be right back right after this. Thank you, brother.
Thank you.
Just look at the screen. Just look. We'll be right back. Oh, wait. We're back. Rock and roll. Hey, we got Jim Grant, one of our great cameramen up here. We got a great camera team out there anyways. They've been pretty solid for a bunch of years. We're wicked lucky. They do great work here.
It has been quite a while. You know, do you realize we've been doing this show for like 6 or 7 years now?
Oh, wow, that is
scary when you think about it. And you
realize how many people that would have like been hiding in their closets or up in their attics that are now. I still got it. I still got my media. Don't worry, I got the tag. Okay, I'm still official. But how many people we've like put on?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
This is show number 90, I believe.
Oh wow, show number 90 with the powers to be just spoke.
The voice from beyond tells us that we're up to. We're catching up on the big 100 here.
But what I wanted to bring you on and ask you about it is you brought Ross on, right?
Yeah.
Where did you meet him?
Oh, well, actually, he's my roommate's cousin.
Well, I mean, because it's great, because that's the people we want to have come on our show. People out there. And it's wicked.
Actually, I got another one for next month, too.
That is so great. Thanks a lot. Come on. And little Toby in Centerville, I know I spoke last month. I lost your number. You and your band wanted to be on the show. Get a hold of us, because we want you on this stage. And, it's wicked grateful.
Paper and a piece of pencil,
yeah,
right?
We're wicked grateful. We're going to have my friend Andy Fee's going to close the show. Rock and roll, brother. Thanks.
You should know. We both should realize it's started out quite slowly, and now I can hardly see it. Before we waste anything else, I think we both should realize once my eyes could focus on all that came my way, and I got older and wiser. Now I have to take my time. Once my eyes could focus on all that came my way, then I got older and wiser, and now I'll have to take my time to learn is to stop and see. No, it's to fully understand before we waste anything else. I think we both should realize